The COVID-19 vaccines were the largest human experiment ever done in the history of mankind. In the United States, they're largely genetic products. People who took the vaccines for the first time took a genetic injection of foreign genetic material that produced in their body for an uncontrolled duration and time and quantity the Wuhan spike protein, the protein on the surface of the virus that causes so much damage in the human body. All of you who've had COVID and all of you who've taken the vaccines have now been exposed to and have taken up the spike protein in your body. Many of you still have the spike protein in your cells and your tissues. Every study that's looked at this has actually identified this central issue. The human body does not seem to have enzymes that can break down this protein like it could any other natural protein and have us get rid of it. It's because this protein is not natural. It's not. It was engineered in a Chinese biosecurity lab using blueprints that came from U.S. researchers, fully funded and supported by the National Institutes of Health and the National Allergy Immunology Branch run by Dr. Anthony Fauci. And this work went on from 2012 and was published in 2015 by Dr. Ralph Barrick at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, that declared the creation of a chimeric prototypical virus, SARS-CoV-2. And then when the virus ultimately emanated out of Wuhan, China, Dr. Anthony Fauci and Peter Daszak at the EcoHealth Alliance and Francis Collins at the National Institutes of Health all conspired to conceal a worldwide global security issue. And instead of being honest with us and basically letting us as doctors step in and save people from this illness, they covered it up. And as a result, Americans were slaughtered by the suppression of early treatment and this deceptive propaganda campaign that all we could do is wait in fear and take a vaccine. The vaccines have left about 15% of those who've taken them with some form of a medical problem. That is a huge number. Now, fortunately, about a third of people who took the vaccine, they've had no side effects whatsoever, and they appear to be exhibiting no side effects emerging. So if one took the shot and they're perfectly fine, didn't even have a sore arm, they're extremely unlikely now to develop a problem. But it's people who developed an initial reaction and were sick for a few days or weeks afterwards, I really worry about them, because we are seeing the late development of myocarditis and cardiac arrest even 2 years after the vaccine, blood clots developing even 2 years after the vaccine. In fact, another episode of COVID could provoke these. So yesterday was a historic day as the very first detoxification protocol was published in the U.S. medical literature that gives people a chance to take this whole issue into their own hands and use natural substances to begin to help the body clear this very dangerous protein from its cells and tissues. And it involves 3 natural substances that are available over the counter at any type of online retailer or at a natural food store or pharmacy. And they are nattokinase, which is an enzyme that's derived from the fermentation of soy, bromelain, which is a set of enzymes derived from the stems of pineapple. By the way, bromelain is a U.S. FDA-approved drug as a topical treatment for wounds. And then the third is curcumin, derived from turmeric. The doses of nattokinase are 2,000 units twice a day, bromelain 500 milligrams a day, and curcumin 500 milligrams 3 times a day. The duration in this publication, and I'm the first author, so I'm the one to bring this forward, is at least 3 months. I think for people who have taken multiple shots, 12 months or more. Now, the good news is that patients under my observation, and right now we have no prospective double-blind randomized placebo-controlled trials to confirm this, but it's my clinical observation that patients indeed are getting better on this approach. That the numbness and the tingling, the heart racing, the erratic nature of various movement disorders, headache, ringing in the ears, loss of sense of taste and smell, all of that seems to recover on the detoxification protocol. I can't make any therapeutic claims, again, because these large trials haven't been done. Having said that, there are no large randomized trials even planned. I've checked clinicaltrials.gov, and these are not even planned. The Biden administration and HHS has spent $1 billion researching long COVID, $1 billion, $0 researching vaccine injuries, and despite all this investment, not a single long COVID protocol or new drug has been brought forward for individuals. It's been 2.5 years into the vaccine campaign, and I can tell you as a clinical doctor, I made the decision, based on my research and now my publication, that we're going to take matters into our own hands. We can manage these over-the-counter supplements. We have to be diligent, and there are side effects because this is a blood-thinning regimen. These supplements are forms of blood thinners, so there can be bleeding and easy bruising. We have to be cautious about that. We do use them in addition to conventional blood thinners. Now, fortunately, the Japanese have led the way with nattokinase. They've been using this. They've been eating natto for over 1,000 years for its cardiovascular benefits, and they've been using a supplement now for the last 2 decades. So for all of these, we have a tremendous safety literature that we don't have, obviously, with the vaccines. And we can stop these at any time if there's a complication. But this is called base spike detoxification. Other things can be added, but this triple base detoxification, again, nattokinase, bromelain, and curcumin, must be taken, I think, for the majority of people who have had multiple rounds of COVID, have long COVID syndrome, or they've taken the vaccines, and now they're in the very, very uncomfortable position of wondering, are they the next one who's going to have a cardiac arrest? Are they the next one who's going to have a blood clot?